Bye-bye. There she is, Frances Quinn there, and she's in Newry Library tomorrow evening at 6:30. You may wish to go along there and find out more about the wonderment that she is involved with. Wonderment that Peter Edgar is involved with is the world of inventions, and the gateway through the stargate through which the inventions will come is the Northern Ireland Science Park. Tell us about the Northern Ireland Science Park, first of all, Peter.
Well, we're based down in the Titanic Quarter, so a new emerging part of the city of Belfast, and we set up probably about 15 years ago, and ever since then, have just been rapidly growing with the rapid production of new innovative technologies, and then also companies from across the world wanting to locate in Belfast. And we've seen an increase to about 100 companies, probably about 2,000 employees down in that space, and so they're all high-end, innovative technology.
And I suppose if people are coming in, they're coming in specifically to you because you are a child of modernity. Yeah. Things changed, the technology took us forward, and that's a wave that you're surfing.
Yeah, so if you look at our economy here, it's one of our big challenges is to sort of rediscover that inventive spirit that we had maybe 100 years ago. We kind of operate off this tagline that people from this part of the world have been changing the world for hundreds of years. Anything from Hans Sloane and drinking chocolate to, of course, Ferguson and
flight in Ireland.
Yeah,
for goodness
first
sake.
Flight in Ireland
On Newcastle's beach.
Yeah, and so the people here are unbelievably smart. We have this incredible ability to invent, and that's kind of what the team at the Science Park is trying to inspire again.
But we were very, very creative, but we were creative in technology that you could put screws in and bolts in and tie things up with welding. We're now dealing with a technology that has a cloud and it comes out of space, and are we automatically transferring our skills from the old sort of hardware days to the new digital and cyber ways?
Yeah, it's our ability to build software is really incredible. You've got to look at companies like Cana and Fidesa up at the Science Park that are doing good work. The likes of HP are located there. Intel just recently acquired a company called Epona, not in the Science Park, but in Belfast. And so, if those types of companies are starting to locate in Belfast, the reason why they come here is because our people are very talented at producing the types of products that they need. And yeah, there is that definitely strong sense of still that ability to build mechanical products and engineering-based products, and I think that's always something that's going to be one of our strongest selling points here. And so, but the ability to transfer into this new software, digital age, is really impressive.
So what we're really saying is that the old ways form the foundation upon which you're building today.
Yeah, like you can't. I suppose it's ingrained within us to be able to do that. If you look at our universities as well, like Queen's and University of Ulster, are turning out really high quality graduates. And it's that sort of enthusiasm and energy that they bring to the local economy here that people are attracted by from across the world, and that's why they locate their companies here.
Well, Peter, recently you have been fishing, you've been trawling for inventors and inventions through your competition that's occurring at the moment. That was in the mid-April to late April time.
Yeah, so I work for a group within the Science Park called Connect. And we're a small team, but what we're really passionate about is connecting inventors with entrepreneurs. And basically why we do that is because we had a great ability to create products, and we need to learn that we have to sell them across the world. And so by building these strong teams, that is what helps us do that. So that's what creates jobs for the economy, that's what keeps people here, and that keeps things booming in the city. And so we used to run a competition called the 25K Awards. And we ran that for about the last 6 years, and it used to be sort of a competition between the research bases to allow them to pitch their best research, which could have commercial potential. And so that was brilliant. But then we started to have this discussion in the office about, look at all these great inventors. Not all of them go to the universities. There's great inventors working at home in their garden sheds, right across the country.
Have you found some of those?
Yeah, they could be.
Really?
There could be. School pupils that are coding after school with their friends, and they're coming up with new apps. And so we decided to reconfigure the competition, and we called it an Invent. and we were really overwhelmed by the sort of reaction that we got. So we got 92 applications from across 6 categories, and we have engineering, agri-food, enterprise software, creative media, consumer internet, life and health, and electronics. And basically, those are kind of the sectors where we are going to see real growth. And yeah, we've found some incredible people behind the inventions as well.
Give me an example.
Yeah,
Paint me a word picture of such a project.
So if we took the example of a school pupil, young Gareth, who's really interested in solving the problem of helping people with dyslexia read and write better. So he came up with an invention to basically design a new type of font. So whenever you see it and someone's reading it, it helps them understand the text a lot better and recognize the text better. And so he went and then created a little web application for that as well. He's only maybe 16, 17 years old, but he's already received awards as well. So he's trying to make progress on that, and he's only at a young age. To David Moorhead, who's interested in microbial solutions to help clean up water contamination. So if oil contaminates water, he's been working away on ways to solve that problem.
And is this something could apply in the majority world?
Yeah, so like the markets for this aren't local. They're not going to sell and make your big business just based on a local market.
Yeah.
The aspiration and what we want to help through this competition is to help those individuals then scale that idea.
Yeah.
So how do you sell a microbial solution that cleans up oil contaminations across the world? You need people with that knowledge. So what the competition does then is help these teams. Basically, in a really short and effective way, learn how to pitch their idea to investors, to potential partners and collaborators. So we're really well supported by significant sort of industrial backers as well. Yeah. So the Bank of Ireland support our prize fund in the competition. And then we have major sponsors like Intel, IBM, Dow Chemical, and Activists. Yeah. So major global players that are interested in the people here and their inventions that they're coming out with. We have 24 of them at the moment, and those 24 have just received really cut in just a short, sharp, intensive training about how to present your idea in 3 minutes. Have you ever heard of the idea of an elevator pitch?
No, I haven't.
No, so part of our job is to help people take lots of information. Like these guys have been working on this stuff maybe for 20, 30 years. Yeah. And so our challenge is to help, if you were to have, 1 minute going up in an elevator with a world-class investor.
Extraction.
You have to tell that person why your product is going to change the world and why it's going to make a difference and how you're going to make money out of it. Yeah. So that's what we've been trying to do over the last few weeks. Even in their application process, they had to give a 3-minute pitch to top-class local entrepreneurs. Yes. And so it is quite an intense process. So on the 27th of May, we're going to have the semi-finals of the competition where these teams will get to show what they've learned. Wow. And so they'll have 3 minutes in front of an audience of 200 people and a panel of 8 judges.
It's a kind of intellectual Dragon's Den.
Yeah, we do get compared to Dragon's Den, but I like to think that...
well, I didn't quite make the comparison. Just the intellectual thought on it. Yeah. But your big problem is really deciding who's to go and who's to not go. There's such excellence in here.
There's the great thing about the competition is that you will have maybe someone who's been in Queen's or Ulster University for 20, 30 years, like an esteemed academic, competing, against the young school people for a category. Yeah. And it's that kind of sort of face-off, which is really interesting. And our problem is, like this year, all 24, I find it really difficult. I always try to pick who do I think will win out of mine, and each year I get it wrong. So I can never do it. But it's often the ones that, even at this stage in the 24, the ones that don't go through to the finals, into the top 12, they go on to be really successful. Last year's winner was ProAxis, which was in the sort of biotechnology sector. It just got recently acquired as well, so it just got bought over by a company too. So the teams make real progress. Yeah, and
that is very good progress, because if a company, a fledgling company, or a company that's building already, is taken over, that means money for the principals of the company, and it means a future for the product because the funding is there to take it forward.
Yeah, and that's, if we can, success for us is to get as many of these teams connected with funding as possible. And one way to do that is just to showcase what is happening here, what the inventions are, how they make a difference. And, if we can increase the amount of funding here, and if you look at the wider economy, what we need to do to kickstart things and get things thriving, the increasing amounts of sort of funding coming in so that we can export and make money out is crucial.
Is it your experience, Peter, that there is money out there is investment capital out there, or are we still, are our entrepreneurs continuing to be careful?
I know there is money out there, but our ability to maybe locate those sources and find them is key. But it kind of comes down to how you pitch to funders and investors. They will invest if you can, if you can communicate what you're trying to do in a really effective manner, and that's why it's so important to do.
But how do you make that tie up? If what's the format or the formula for interfacing the two? So you don't knock the door and say, "Hello, I've got an idea that's going to make dogs jump over the moon," or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you make the connection?
Yeah, we have to. So it really comes down to things like sort of incubators and accelerators. So how do you get lots of inventive, creative people together that are going to build products, and that will interest investors. If they can see, intellectual property and they can see something unique about it, they'll be interested in that, and that's what will draw them in.
And that's the beginnings.
So if you do something to say like the Invent Awards, that gets a lot of exposure across, sort of global media, and that will interest people, and they will pick up on it, and they will find there's examples of people at Quick Pitch that get spotted from the press releases that go out, by investors, and that's people are looking. But closer to home, we have a really incredible and energetic and involved Halo Angel Investor Network.
That's angel investor, people who are specifically that, angels.
So that's, if you think about, so our team Connect, we actually sit right beside the Halo Angel Investment team in the Science Park. And their group has been really active. I think it's up to 110 angel investors, and there's about they've been investing. I think it's up to 6 million over the last few years. So they're active like that. If you want an example of people looking for investment opportunities, there's about 100 of them. Yeah,
they're definitely there.
But they also mobilise people across the UK and also further afield.
You see, it strikes me as well, because of the technology and the steps we have taken into the wonderful and mesmerizing future. Your suppliers of funding to the projects can be anywhere from Beijing to Bangkok, anywhere in the world.
Yeah, like if
are you making that sort of contact?
Yeah, that's what we would like to encourage, is that people from across the world see the quality of people and invest here, and that there's only if we continue to attract that in, and that the word spreads. Basically, our role is to tell the world that we're inventing again and we're creating again. We've had this incredible legacy in the past of invention, and so how do we sort of promote that? So everybody's kind of responsible as well. Everybody has a part to play. So we're really trying to engage with sort of the diaspora from people that have left and been that are interested in this space, to tell people about what's happening at home. Like, there is a real momentum building here.
And the joy also is that you are aware, and you can demonstrate that you have the angel investors out there ready, who are well disposed to taking a punt on these things.
Yeah, like there is, you do have to spread your portfolio, and it is an interesting sort of investing sort of environment. You invest in a few companies to see which ones will do well, and there does tend to be that sort of fear of failure in terms when it comes to investing in, say, technology, but for the one that you get right, it covers the cost of the ones that maybe don't go well. So
why is there that drawback in technological investment? Why will the majority fail in some, and why is there the fear factor?
There's so many conditions that are so many dependencies that require a business to be successful. So, for example, you could be an incredible inventor, but if you can't tell an investor about what the product does and how they're going to make money out of it, then you're going to struggle to get the funding.
Yes.
Or
yes.
if you can't sell the product whenever you do get it to a stage where it's being able to scale. So that's one of the things that would hold it back. You know, you need to build strong teams, and maybe something that we try to do at the Science Park is to educate entrepreneurs and inventors that's you need to build a team around your product. So it's not just coming up with the innovation. It's coming up with it's finding the right person to sell it. It's finding the right person to fund it, and then it's finding the way to get the message out there to across the world, because you're competing against so many other products.
You see, you're hugely important, because I would think it's massively demonstrable that the inventor will only very rarely be the salesman of his product.
Yeah, we often you know, it's often one of the challenges is you know, getting teams to form, because it's quite a unique relationship that they have to develop in order to get the right sort of, I suppose, chemistry to, you know, work together. And you only do that by providing forums or chances or opportunities for people to meet. So for example, one of the programs we run is called Co-Founders Wanted, when we pitch 8 technologies to a group of about 35 potential co-founders. And the idea there is not necessarily about investment, but it's about the person with the technology actively putting their hand up and saying, I need a wee bit of help with this. I think I'm onto something really unique and exciting, but I need someone who has experience selling into, say, the American market, and say it's an engineering sort of sector. Is there anybody in the room that has that? And then afterwards, after the pitches, then it's networking, and then the teams, then they chat and discuss. And it's a very fluid process, but unless someone creates those opportunities for those people to meet, then it becomes quite difficult then.
Are you finding that the much vaunted Chinese hinterland, that the economy there is a world leader, the Americans owe them 10 Americas in terms of funding? Are they interested? Are you going there, or is that opening up for you?
I suppose we haven't really looked into those markets. I suppose maybe a lot of the products would aspire to, you know, look at the emerging economies for, you know, BRIC countries, you know, Brazil, India, China, to sell them products, because that's where the populations are growing, and there's increasing amount of disposable income. So it would probably be something that we would need to really start breaking into. I suppose.
Was it the Fortnum and Mason founders in England? He said he came into a town and he looked at the number of chimneys and the smoke going up to the sky, and based on the number of chimneys and the amount of smoke, I'm going to stay here. There's a lot of people to buy my product. So China is the ultimate sort of chimney empire.
Yeah, I suppose you know, and the US remains still a very, you know, attractive market for a lot of products, especially, you know, software, consumer internet plays as well. That's a lot where a lot of the
What's the most astonishing? You know, you're a man, you've dealt with them all over the years now.
Yeah.
What's the most gobsmacking, astonishing thing that you've got on your books at the moment?
Yeah, well, you know, if I look at the past winners of this competition, each one of them, you know, is really kind of a breakthrough. I think in 2011 there was a team that came out of Queens which had I suppose a flat satellite dish, which is quite interesting. And basically, if you look at, you know, satellite dishes on your rooftops and stuff, basically this is a flat panel which allows you to, you know, emit communications it doesn't have to be in a fixed position. So that has great applications for communications in the developing world. To you know, if you look at crisis zones, if you need to deploy communications effectively very quickly, it's a product that can do that, and it's particularly fascinating. Then there's Sophia, which has you know, came in as a research idea from an academic from the University of Ulster, and then grew really rapidly because of its ability. It's in searching on the internet, basically.
Wow.
And basically it helps make advertising and commerce more relevant on the internet.
Yes.
And it's grown to a company headquartered in Belfast, but with offices in San Francisco.
My goodness.
And it's been a really rapid growth as well. So there's those kind of two companies, Flish and Sophia, which have really broken down.
Great names,
and
Flish
then,
and Sophia.
And then maybe another one would be Tactility Factory, which I suppose I would describe that as beautiful concrete.
Wow.
So this is two really inspiring creators and innovators who managed to infuse textiles with concrete panels.
Wow.
And they're doing really great work in that space as well. So you can see the range. You can go for something from like electronics and electrical engineering to software
through to the world of art almost.
Yeah, to the art, and that's what's really incredible. So it is a very exciting time for innovation here. And,
how do people contact you?
It's very simple. We have a website, nispconnect.org.
NISP.
Yep.
NISP.
Connect.org. And then we're on Twitter at NISPconnect.
Okay.
And then if you're interested in the competition itself, it's invent2014.co.
And it's not too late for people to be interested in it.
No.
Year,
So
maybe?
if you've got a technology, it's going to be 2015 because we've just closed our application.
You're
round.
looking for technologies.
But I'm looking all year, so
he's hunting.
Yeah, and to be honest, people are already phoning in, and they're disappointed that they missed this year. So what we'll do is we'll open up the 2015 competition coming in the next few months. But we've got quite a rapid sort of progress now. So on the 27th of May, we have this public pitch in W5.
Yeah.
And then the top 12 teams will then do one more final round of pitching, and then we have this huge award ceremony on the 2nd of October at Titanic Belfast.
So if there are people out there who feel intuitively they want to get involved, you're the point of contact.
Yeah, anybody who's either interested as an inventor, investor, they know people that are in the space in the world of technology, engineering, science, if that's what they're interested in. You come to us and we'll link you in. We'll be a good
And the
starting point.
easiest way they can get you, what's the easiest? Because those long emails and
stuff.
stuff.
Well, it can be...
Not everybody does Twitter.
You've
only allowed 140 characters.
A phone call works as well. Our number is 02890 737 800.
90-737-800.
Yep.
Okay, 90-737-800. If you have an idea, if you've got money you want to match up with an idea, Peter Edgar is the man, and he's when he ain't fishing, he's mending his nets. I think that's true. Peter, we wish you well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You go well. Take care. And if you give Andrew your email address, Andrew will send you the link to this interview, and you're welcome to use it in whatever way you wish.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, go well. Take care.